I joke about this, but it's true. I wake up with nightmares, feeling like I'm running the bull. So it's about halfway through the park. There's through the course it's called the bull because it's literally like you go down a hill and then you go up and out, and it's probably just a good half mile of just sheer incline, and it's really what separates, who loves the sport and who hates it is just trying to finish the race. But Homedale's seen some of the best memories in my life, and then some of the worst ones that I can't escape it. Like, I feel like, thank God I'm done with it, but I wake up with nightmares about that place.
He's always been athletic. He tried a bunch of different sports. The first sport when he was 5 that we put him in was soccer. And it's actually a really funny story because he hated it. And we made him go though because he was on a team. And he yelled at us, "Don't sign me up for any more running sports." So, yes, yeah.
My name is Michael Card. And I guess I run quite a bit.
So I could sort of like tell two different things. You could see the work ethic someone has, and you could sort of see some natural ability.
But he played baseball, t-ball from the time he was little, wrestling.
Yeah, he got into wrestling, that's where he picked up running. Decided to pick up running, I guess more his freshman year, cross country.
Honestly, my experience going into the sport, it could not have been any better. A bunch of great guys. It was I was surrounded by, not guys that loved the sport but loved what they did. So yeah, I definitely the upperclassmen when I was just coming onto the sport really helped guide me in the right direction.
I'm a coach. I could tell you guys what to do, but it's up to you guys to do it. And I've seen people willing to do it. And the program has grown tremendously, especially the boys distance program.
Okay, because he was a really good baseball player and loved playing baseball. But I think his freshman year, meeting up with older teammates, with the cross country mates, I think helped make that decision to go into the running.
My freshman year, it was the first time I'd ever run 50 miles in a week. I'm in the best fitness of my life. I'm getting ready to step up, fill that 5th man scoring spot in the varsity lineup. So it was the county championships of my freshman year. We were bubble team. We were top 20 in the state. So we were looking to really, make an indent on this county championship.
And at that day, he was at the top of the hill, I was at the bottom of the hill waiting. So obviously at Homedale, they go into the woods. You don't see them again.
I'm running a great race. I'm behind two of my teammates that kind of were carrying me through the race. We were working together.
You see the clock, counting up, and you expect them to start coming out of the woods. Everybody, you hear that whistle blow and they're coming, so it's exciting. And then I had gotten a phone call from him that he was in, having a great race, in great position. Then the runners start coming and finishing, and the time we expected him came and went.
Then so the race ends. And it's called the back trails, and you just go downhill for the last half mile. It's kind of the grace of Homedale Park, and it's just the last half mile. It's downhill. So I'm running down the hill, and I feel shooting pain in my leg. Like, all right, that's not right. But it's like there's a half mile left, like things happen. I'm gonna get pains, and then I take a couple more steps, and it's like a shooting pain through my leg.
And Michael never came out of the woods, so that was obviously really scary.
And I go right down. Like there's nothing I can do. It was unreal. I really fractured my tibia and broke my leg. Yeah, that was tough. Sitting in the hospital that night knowing that you just failed was definitely kind of ate at me. going home and realizing that the next 6 months I was not going to be racing again was pretty tough, because you're telling a kid that just ran 50 miles a week that you're confined to the couch, and I need to crutch everywhere. I can't even take a shower normally. Like that was tough. The recovery process was as much mental as it was physical. Luckily, again, I had that group of upperclassmen friends that that went over to visit me, that carried my bag at lunch to my next class.
When he was injured, pulled the reins in because he still wanted to train, but he had to realize that rest and recover and let the injuries heal before he went back out and trained. All part of the sport, trying to stay healthy and injury free. So I think he learned that on early, having the injuries.
I come back, I'm fresh, I'm playing baseball, gearing up for my sophomore year cross country season. It's kind of a rebound season, and then I'm running to third base, and it felt like I got shot in my hip. Go right down, avulsion fracture in my hip, same thing, that I'm going to be crutching around, and I'm going to be, off my legs and not running for the better part of 4 months. So I completely didn't even run once my entire sophomore cross-country season.
It's human. We should expect people to struggle, right? Like, if progress was like this, and just we got better and better and better, I kind of always say jokingly, if you were to PB every time you step on the track, you'd be at the Olympic trials next year. Every single race you got better, that's not a realistic expectation. It's just not. I like to be realistic, right? It's not being negative or pessimistic. It's more just acknowledging that that's not how progress is in anything, really. I often talk about process and not outcome. What we do every day to get to where we are and where we want to be. Like our North Star goals. Like if you have a North Star goal of I want to break 150 in the half. Like Michael maybe. We don't really discuss the North Star goal. It's there. So we just, okay, today we're going to do this. Tomorrow we're going to do that. And the next day we do that. Like chop wood, carry water. Today we're going to chop wood, carry water. Tomorrow we're going to chop wood, carry water. If we underperform, what do we do tomorrow? We chop wood, carry water. If we perform great, what do? We chop wood, carry water. Like we're just going to keep doing what we're doing irrespective. It doesn't matter whether we performed at our best or, not so much.
Yeah. Junior year was huge. So I finally got a full summer of training, rehabbed the hip fracture, got up to about 50 miles a week again.
Your summer training is going to determine whether you're surviving the season or whether you're thriving during the season.
All right, so a typical day, easy miles. But you go out, it's usually, I do 7.5 miles and then 4 100-meter strides. So that brings me right to about 8 miles, and that's right about an hour. So I've really found that that's kind of my comfort zone, doing about an hour a day.
That is like your building blocks. That is sort of how you build a stronger runner that can then tolerate harder workouts.
And it's a mentally draining feeling knowing that you're going to go into a workout, and then there's a good chance, I'm not going to be able to walk afterwards. But it's cool. I enjoy, pushing my body to the extent that I'm not sure if I could take another step. Because if you could go out and push yourself so hard when nobody's watching, imagine what you could do, when you step on the line against a bunch of other, athletes. But it's always a great feeling afterwards when you're able to sit down, eat dinner, and be like, I killed that workout. That's going to help me next week for this big race, so that's a good feeling. So it's my second race, like literally one of my first races in my career. My second race my junior year. It was the Monmouth County Championship, so it was the race that I broke my leg in my freshman year. And I went into this race, with not expecting anything, and I definitely didn't think I had any chance to win it. No one knew who I was, which was the coolest part. But a vivid memory that I have was getting out of the bowl, running up that hill. I remember everyone around me was breathing really hard. And that's kind of where I had the realization that, like, I'm in this race, you know? Like, we're halfway through this race now. And I made a move with probably about a quarter mile left. And I had this, like movie almost playing in my head of me winning this race. And in that moment, I was like, I could do it. Like, I could prove to myself, 2 years ago that you can get back up, you know? I made my move. I came out to shoot. And I won that race that, 20 minutes ago, nobody knew who I was. Yeah, that was a crazy experience. And then just, like, hugging my teammates, kind of set a precedent for the rest of my career and how I run now, to run like I always have something to prove and nothing to lose.
It has to come from within you to wake up every day and run. I've had athletes where, they get to MOC in cross country and they're running 1,000+ miles.
The mindset is just always, go out, run like you have nothing to lose, and run like, you're the one to beat. But yeah, there's always pressure. I feel like, you're always gonna have people looking at you after you run a good race too. So I guess you're definitely at some standard, but it's kind of what you do with that pressure and how well you can handle the pressure that really projects you and makes you a good runner.
Running's different than some other sports. Like the goal in basketball is to win the game, right? The goal in running is to win, but not really. Like the goal is also just to run fast. Like your fastest might not make you capable of winning, right? Like you might just not be good enough at that point to win, but you could run faster than you've run before.
Kind of like a lot of things in life. You get beat down, you get pushed around, you break a leg sometimes, and then a year later or however long you get the same opportunity to do it again. So yeah, that junior year is also the start of my track career. I saw a lot of success with the mile, but the 800 really kind of took off. Coach McBain always says that it's a real man's event, but naturally I love the pain of the 800.
In the 8, I think for someone like Michael, getting out hard, running the race that suits him, that's fast. But his kick may not be as strong as some other guys because Michael has such wide range.
I don't sit back. I try to go out hard. I try to make everyone hurt. And I feel like the 800 really, it really captures grit more than the 2 mile, 5K, or a mile. Right now, I'm at the end of my senior year. I ran 151.7 up in New York City. That put me number 1 in the state. It's been a lot of work, It's every day, getting up, getting the run in, getting the workout in. But yeah, it's been fun, I've really just tried to sit back and kind of appreciate the sport now. It's kind of untold what the future has to store right now, but I'll tell you, I'm excited to get after it at Monmouth University.
If he has the motivation and still has that desire and the effort he puts into it, the sky's the limit.
I think the groundwork, his motivation, his determination, anything he applies that to, hopefully he'll be successful.
Monmouth is in a very stable division. It's a good school, great coaching staff. That's really the reason why I made the choice. I got a lot of big goals, so I'm hoping, working with the coaches at Monmouth, we can, really do something special in the next couple of years.